After nearly 7 years on CBS this morning, Norah O'Donnell is taking over as anchor and managing editor of CBS Evening News. She'll also work as the lead anchor of political events for CBS and continue as a contributing correspondent for 60 Minutes. CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell starts this summer in New York and will eventually move to its new home in Washington, D.C. this fall. Norah O'Donnell joins us now on WFMY News 2 to talk about her new opportunity. Norah, you've worked with an ensemble on CBS This Morning for several years, 7 years specifically, but you will be the solo anchor on CBS Evening News. Describe the excitement and maybe some of the challenges in the new role.
Oh, Julie, thank you so much. Yes, I'm incredibly honored and humbled by the opportunity. You know, CBS created the evening news format more than 7 decades ago. And Walter Cronkite anchored this broadcast for more than 2 decades, was known as the most trusted voice in America. And I think that's why so many people revere the CBS Evening News to this day, because they know that this is a trusted broadcast with unbiased reporting and news, and that tradition continues here today. And so that's been, you know, what I've always strived to be as a journalist since I started as a print reporter more than 20 years ago. And we're going to continue to do that on the evening news because I think that's as important as ever in journalism.
And you will be only the 3rd woman ever to anchor a network evening newscast. Would you consider yourself to be a pioneer?
You know, that's an interesting question. I certainly stand on the shoulders of other men and women who have held this job, the other women being, of course, Diane Sawyer and Katie Couric. But I think I was chosen for this job in part just because of my, you know, qualifications as having been a political reporter, having, you know, traveled the world. But I do think we're in a new era where women are more than, you know, 50% of the population, and starting to make headroads in terms of CEOs, COOs. We got 6 women running for president of the United States, and so I've said it before, and I believe it firmly, that I believe that the 21st century is going to be the century of women.
Norah, let's get into North Carolina politics, which you have covered in the past. In 2014, you moderated the first debate between Kay Hagan and now Senator Thom Tillis. We've already seen challengers announce runs for Tillis' seat in 2020. Do you think this is going to be another key race to watch?
Look, I think North Carolina is an incredibly important state, not only from a presidential race, but also the Senate race that you face there. You saw, of course, Barack Obama in his campaign turned North Carolina blue for one of the first times, and that's why North Carolina is a battleground state. I think, you know, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in your state, so I hope you'll welcome us with open arms, and certainly the presidential candidates will be there. Because of the growth in your state, the political importance of your state, we're going to continue to do a lot of stories out of there.
We are glad and happy to see you coming here often. You know, you attended Georgetown
University. I'd love to come back and do another debate, too.
Please do. I have a feeling that is going to be in the cards. Well, you attended Georgetown University and also worked as a correspondent at the White House. How will the new location of the program in D.C. be so personal to you?
Well, look, what happens in Washington, D.C. touches every aspect of American life. So whether it's higher taxes, whether it's trade issues, education, foreign policy, there is that nexus there. And so, you know, we believe that in order to cover a story, you get as close to it as you can. And so anytime I can help with reporting on all of these issues that affect each of our lives, we want to be at the forefront of it. The CBS Evening News will not only continue to be the legacy broadcast that it has been in the past, but the future of this broadcast means that we will continue to meet the standard of providing context, depth, clarity, and urgency. We know that people already get the headlines on their phones every day. So what we're going to do on the evening news is not tell you just what happened, but why it happened. And we have such a talented team of journalists and correspondents and producers here that I think are able to meet that standard. And so that's why I think that at 6:30, it's appointment television.
And North Carolinians want to know a little bit more about you. You know, Krispy Kreme is a North Carolina staple. Do you have a favorite Krispy Kreme donut, or how about the kids?
A Krispy Kreme donut. Well, I like them when they're hot.
Yes.
You know, which it's hard to get the hot ones unless you go yourself. But I just like a glazed donut, to be honest. I mean, I like a glazed donut. When I was a kid, I used to like the powder donuts with the jelly on the inside. But as I got older, I've kind of moved on from that. But a glazed donut with a nice hot cup of coffee with some skim milk, that's probably one of my favorite things.
So when you come to North Carolina, we'll have that hot now waiting for you.
Hot.
Hot now.
Yes.
Yes.
Hot
Norah
donuts.
O'Donnell, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations and best wishes to you.
Thank you so much.